So with solos now introduced to Apex Legends, a lot of people are wondering what they can do to improve at this new game mode. And to start off with the obvious, solos is not a good indication of skill level. This is all RNG based, and a lot of the times you're just going to get unlucky and not win the games that you're supposed to win. So if you don't win a lot of games, don't feel too bad. Even some of the top players have trouble winning back-to-back games, or a couple of games in a row for that matter. So with that out of the way, let's get into the video. So the first tip we're going to get into is dropping depending on what exactly you want out of the game you're playing. So for example, there's some of us that want high kill games, and there's a place to drop for that. And if you just want to go for wins, then of course there are places to drop for that'll higher your chances of winning. Now if you do want to go for kills, then the best place to drop would be Octane's Gauntlet at the bottom of the map. There is always at least 5 or 6 people that drop there, and if you do end up winning, you're going to walk out with at least a few kills. Now the hot drop is also a good location to drop, because a lot of people are going to try to land there for the best loot possible. That way they higher the chances of winning. But be warned that these places are pretty populated, so your chances of coming out alive are very slim, or at least much lower than dropping anywhere else. Now the crazy thing about solos is that it's very different from regular Apex due to the fact that a lot of the places you wouldn't normally drop in regular Apex are now viable. There were a lot of locations without names on the map that do have a decent amount of loot, just not enough for 3 people. So if you were to play regular Apex, there would not be enough stuff for you and your 2 other teammates. Now for solos, however, that's a different story. You don't need a lot for solos. All you need is an armor, a gun, some ammo, and maybe a helmet, and that's about it. So this means that a lot of these smaller places are actually viable now, and you can actually land there and not need too much after you leave. Now if I want to go for wins and say I need it for some kind of video, then I would drop somewhere that has a name, but just somewhere not that big, that's next to a bigger location. Like for example, instead of dropping at Skull Town, I'll drop at Thunderdome. Not a lot of people drop at Thunderdome. I do like to fight when I land. I don't like to land at places that have nobody else there. So after I clear out Thunderdome, I can then move to Skull Town, where there's going to be at least a few people alive, or still fighting for that matter. But on the other hand, if I have a late drop and I have to drop somewhere else than where I intended, I can actually drop in a smaller area and still have enough loot to make it through the game. Now we're going to talk about what to do when you actually land at a location of your choice. The first rule about solo Apex is that when you land, you have to kill the people around you as fast as possible before they have a chance to loot up. For example, if you happen to find an armor and a peacekeeper, then just run at the people that drop next to you, because the odds that they're still looting and the odds that they don't have enough equipment to defend themselves is very high. Taking them out at this point in the game, rather than taking them out when they're fully looted and have all the weapons they need, is going to be a lot easier, especially if you do drop and find good weapons. Now this rule can translate to later on in the game. Whenever you are in a fight, you want to make sure that you take people out as fast as possible, which means if you hurt people, don't give them a chance to heal up and actually rush them and try to get the kill. Now the reason for this is that there are a ton of third parties in solos. You're going to run into more third and fourth parties than in any other game mode due to the fact that there's just more people on the map. Even though third partying is very common in regular Apex, it's not as common as it is in solos due to the fact that more people are going to be braver, since they don't have to worry about a team mowing you down. Now this gets so ridiculous. In fact, there are times where you're going to run into fourth or fifth parties, and sometimes there's just going to be nothing you can do about it, and you're going to die, because there's going to be so many people running towards the gunshots that, you know, there's just no way to avoid it, and that's the way the battle royale works. Now in my opinion, I think they should fix this to an extent. I don't think there should be purple shields in the game, because the fights take way too long at times. But another way of solving this would be to lower the noise that gunshots make, that way they don't go as far as they do. Normally people flock towards your location when you're in a gunfight because they hear the gunshots, and sometimes you can hear gunshots from pretty far, which means that more people are going to be attracted to them, and a lot of people do rush gunshots like myself, so this could be a way of fixing that. Now there are certain ways to circumvent this, and you're not going to stop it completely. You're never going to stop a third party, but there are ways to higher your chances of coming out of these third party attacks alive. Now one of the most important things I'm going to teach you today is how to loot after you get a kill. After you kill somebody, the first thing you want to do is run up to them and grab their armor. If you need it, that is. If somebody has a better armor than you or the same armor as you, make sure to run at them and grab that the first thing that you do. Don't do anything else beside that. And then you heal whatever heal you need. Now this is to prevent from people attacking you while you're weak. So if the first thing you do is grab your enemy's shield, then at least you'll have your shield to work with if you do get attacked. If they have a shield that's not as good as you, then the first thing you want to do is heal. After you kill somebody, you're going to run and you're going to get your health to full, to max, your shield included, and then you're going to loot. That way if people do attack you, like I said before, you're going to have at least some health to work with. You don't know how many times I've been attacked while looting because I get greedy and I want something that they have, and I end up dying because I only have like 40 health left, and people just kill me in 2 shots. And that's very greedy, so this is a very important rule to stick with. And if you're going to learn anything from this video, then this is the thing that you have to keep in mind. Now the next tip I'm going to give you is your weapon choice in solos, and you have to be careful exactly what you take because like I said before, you are alone and you aren't going to have anybody to help you out. There are times in regular Apex Legends where I have a sniper and another long range weapon, and that's all I take because my teammates have 2 SMGs and shotguns, for example. Now since they have those close range weapons, I can have a long range weapon. That way we can kind of balance each other out and they can kind of support me if I do get rushed up close. But in solos, you're not going to have that backup, so you're going to have to choose carefully exactly what guns you want to take. Like you can probably have an R01 and a shotgun, for example, for 2 different ranges. You could probably have a submachine gun and maybe a shotgun. But you got to think about stuff like taking a sniper and a shotgun because you're going to be lacking that mid-range weapon. And if they're not super far from you, you're going to have trouble killing them with the longbow. And if they're a little bit too far from you, you're going to have trouble killing them with the Peacekeeper or whatever shotgun you have. So these are things that you have to think about. But if there are weapons that you never use, then I would suggest going into training and trying them out. That way you at least get used to them. And if you are ever stuck with them in solos, you're going to have no one to help you. So it'd be better to know the ins and outs of almost every gun. Now the last tip I'm going to give you all is choosing what legends to play. Now I'm not going to tell you exactly what you should play. You guys have your own thing. I know a lot of you are comfortable with different legends and that's perfectly fine because at the end of the day each one is viable. But like I said before in other videos, there are legends that are obviously better than others. And the thing about solos is that the pros and cons of each legend are emphasized because you're not going to have anybody there to support you. Which means that their flaws are going to be big flaws and their pros are going to be big pros. So I'm going to tell you right now, each legend can work and there's no legend that can't play solos. Each one is viable if you know how to play them correctly. But there are legends that are going to give you a big advantage. Legends like Octane, Wraith, Lifeline, Pathfinder are some of the best legends that you can use because they have a lot of selfish abilities that will help you out in the long run. Being able to heal yourself while you fix your shield as Lifeline is a lifesaver. Having the mobility of Pathfinder will save you more time than you can count. Having Octane speed can get you out of a pickle or get you into a fight faster. Wraith can go into the void to avoid damage or get out of a fight that includes 2 or 3 more parties. So you have to be careful what you choose. Also, there are a lot of legends that are bigger than the other ones, so you're going to eat a lot more shots. And in solos, everyone's going to be shooting everywhere. Everyone knows that everyone else is a threat, so bullets are going to hit you no matter what. And if you are fatter, then of course you are going to take a lot more damage. And a bonus tip for those of you who are not too familiar with solos, there are a lot of people that camp, so you have to check your corners. There's going to be people that are going to shoot you from little bushes, from little crevices in the mountain, from little corners in the room, and it's going to happen. And that's always going to be a thing in Battle Royale games, no matter what game it is. You're never going to get rid of people that play like that. And there's nothing more frustrating than having 4 or 5 kills in a game with more people to kill, and you die to somebody that's just camping there. And that's fine, you know, that's a game style. People play like that, and that's the way it is. So you have to be careful with that and keep that in mind when you are playing solos. Anyways guys, this has been Nick, and this has been my solo guide. I hope you all enjoyed that. If y'all want me to cover another topic, be sure to leave that in the comments below. Also, a like and a sub would also be appreciated since it really do help out my channel. Anyways guys, stay safe out there, make good choices, and I will see you all in the next one.
I'm supposed to take a practice test right now at 8. I mean, I'm supposed to take one today. But yeah, the system's down till 9.
I won my first game.
Oh, nice. Good job.